Hey there, fellow literature enthusiasts and cinephiles who love to peel back the layers of a film, searching for those subtle nuances, thematic undercurrents, and storytelling choices that reveal something deeper than just the surface narrative. Welcome back to Frame Shift, where our journeys through cinema are less about quick takes and more about thoughtful, intellectual explorations, because movies, after all, are stories that speak to the human condition in all its complexity. If you enjoy these deep dives and want to keep exploring alongside a community of curious minds, I warmly invite you to like and subscribe. No pressure, just a sincere invitation to join a conversation that honors the art of storytelling in all its forms. Today, I want to share with you an analysis that's quite special to me, partly because it touches on ideas I've been grappling with personally, and partly because the film itself offers a blend of kinetic energy and layered themes that surprised me in its depth. The film in question is Triple Threat, a 2019 action thriller that at first glance might seem like a straightforward adrenaline ride, packed with martial arts showdowns and high-stakes conflicts. But beneath that hard-hitting surface lies a tapestry of ideas about loyalty, sacrifice, power, and the shifting alliances that define human, and particularly interpersonal, conflict. What drew me to it, beyond the sleek choreography and pulsating sequences, was how it resonated with my own reflections on trust in a fractured world, and how strength manifests in both expected and surprising ways. Now let me take you through a brief overview. The film centers on a trio of elite mercenaries who find themselves embroiled in a deadly game when a billionaire crime lord kidnaps the daughter of a prominent philanthropist. What starts as a mission to rescue evolves quickly into a violent, chaotic dance where alliances shift and the line between friend and foe blurs. The story pulses with tension and urgency, propelled by intense physical confrontations and a narrative that refuses to give the audience a comfortable foothold. Its structure plays with expectations. What seems like a straightforward rescue mission becomes a complex web of betrayals and moral ambiguity. The plot unfolds rapidly, introducing us to these mercenaries, each with their distinct skills, motivations, and codes of honor. They are not heroes in the classic sense. Their pasts are murky, their allegiances complicated. This nuance creates an interesting space where the audience is invited to navigate the gray areas of morality, reflecting on how survival and loyalty intersect in a world where clear lines are hard to draw. The antagonists are equally layered, with their own internal tensions and power struggles that keep the narrative unpredictable. One of the film's key strengths lies in its choreography, not just of fight scenes, but of narrative pacing. The physicality on screen is relentless yet precise, mirroring the characters, psychological states, and the stakes involved. Every punch, kick, and tactical move feels charged with meaning, an external expression of internal conflicts and evolving relationships. This blend of visceral action and thematic weight is what sets the film apart from many of its genre peers. As for major twists, without giving too much away, the film delights in subverting the audience's assumptions. Alliances shift in unexpected ways, characters reveal hidden facets, and motivations that seem straightforward unravel to reveal deeper, sometimes darker truths. These narrative turns compel us to reconsider not just the characters but our own assumptions about trust, power, and the costs of survival. Visually, the film is a feast of sharp contrasts, sleek modernity juxtaposed with gritty urban landscapes, stark lighting that accentuates the tension and isolation of key scenes, and editing that maintains a breathless rhythm without sacrificing clarity. The director's stylistic choices amplify the emotional stakes and invite viewers into the claustrophobic, high-pressure world the characters inhabit. This is not a film that seeks to comfort, it challenges and provokes. It asks us to look beyond black-and-white heroism and villainy to the messy, often painful realities of human connection amid violence and betrayal. For me, watching it was a reminder of the fragility of trust and the resilience required to navigate a world where alliances are both lifelines and liabilities. As we move forward, I invite you to join me in unpacking these layers, examining how the film's characters, themes, and cinematic techniques work together to create a story that's as intellectually engaging as it is thrilling. Let's explore how Triple Threat pushes the boundaries of its genre, offering not just entertainment, but a rich text for reflection on loyalty, identity, and the human cost of conflict. So settle in and let's dive deep into a film that punches far above its weight, revealing the complex choreography not just of combat, but of trust, betrayal, and survival in a world where every choice carries weight. The story begins with an electrifying sense of urgency, plunging us into a world where danger and deception lurk in every shadowed corner. From the outset, we meet a trio of highly skilled mercenaries, each defined by their unique abilities, hardened by experiences that have left their marks both physical and emotional. These three are not strangers, but colleagues bound by a code forged in violence and necessity, their trust a fragile thread holding together in a world where betrayal can come from anywhere. Our introduction to this group is anything but gentle. The opening sequences throw us into the middle of a violent skirmish, a testament to the mercenaries' lethal precision and their unspoken coordination. The choreography here is a masterclass in kinetic storytelling. Every movement, every impact is laden with meaning, revealing character through action rather than exposition. It's clear that this trio operates with a seamless efficiency born of shared history, yet beneath their professionalism simmer individual motivations and scars that hint at complex backstories. Soon, the narrative widens to reveal the stakes. A powerful crime lord has abducted the daughter of a wealthy philanthropist, a woman whose influence and resources have made her a target. This act sets in motion a chain reaction. What might initially seem like a simple rescue mission quickly escalates into a deadly game of cat and mouse, where allegiances shift and the true nature of each player begins to emerge. The mercenaries are hired to extract the hostage, but the lines between client, enemy, and ally blur with every encounter. Key among the developments is the introduction of the crime lord's own cadre, a ruthless and resourceful group that matches the mercenaries in skill and determination. Their presence injects a palpable tension, as each confrontation between these factions feels like a battle of wills as much as of fists and weapons. The film does not shy away from showing the brutal realities of such conflicts. The close calls, the sacrifices, and the raw vulnerability beneath the hardened exteriors. Interwoven with the action are moments that peel back layers of the character's humanity. The mercenaries, despite their lethal skills, are portrayed with emotional complexity. One harbors a quiet resolve born from past loss, another struggles with the ghosts of decisions made in darker times, and the third navigates a precarious balance between loyalty and self-preservation. These threads deepen the narrative, inviting empathy amid the chaos. As the trio pursues their objective, the film introduces a series of escalating obstacles, ambushes, double crosses, and moral quandaries that test their cohesion and individual limits. The tension ratchets upward, with each event forcing decisions that reveal character and shift the narrative's trajectory. The mercenaries' tactical acumen is on full display as they navigate urban labyrinths, improvised weapons, and high-stakes hand-to-hand combat. Yet beneath the surface, doubts creep in about who can be trusted, what the true motivations behind the mission are, and what costs will be paid. The film's pacing in this portion is relentless yet measured, allowing moments of intense action to breathe alongside quieter, character-driven interludes. This balance keeps viewers engaged not only by spectacle, but by emotional investment. The cinematography complements this rhythm, shifting between tight, claustrophobic frames during confrontations and wider shots that emphasize isolation and danger. One pivotal sequence unfolds as the mercenaries breach a fortified compound to rescue the hostage, a moment charged with suspense and strategic ingenuity. The interplay of shadows and bursts of gunfire, the tense coordination of the team, and the hostage's resilience all coalesce into a scene that encapsulates the film's themes of trust, survival, and sacrifice. This rescue, while successful, uncovers layers of betrayal and hidden agendas, revealing that the mission's complexity far exceeds initial appearances. The narrative continues to unfold with twists that challenge the protagonist's assumptions. Allies reveal hidden motives, and the true nature of the crime lord's plan begins to surface, one that threatens not just individual lives, but broader stakes tied to power and control. These revelations deepen the thematic texture, positioning the film as a meditation on the cost of violence and the fragility of trust in fractured worlds. Character dynamics intensify as cracks appear in the mercenaries' unity. Conflicting loyalties and personal demons come to the fore, testing their bonds and individual resolve. These interpersonal tensions provide an emotional counterpoint to the physical battles, enriching the narrative with psychological depth. The first half closes on a note of precarious victory tinged with foreboding. The mission's immediate goal is achieved, but the price paid and the emerging complexities hint at challenges yet to come. The characters are left poised on a knife's edge, their fates and the story's direction hanging in delicate balance. In sum, this segment is a finely crafted blend of visceral action and thoughtful character development. It sets the stage for the escalating conflicts and deeper thematic explorations that will drive the narrative forward, inviting viewers not only to witness the thrills, but to engage with the moral and emotional stakes that underpin them. The story, having established its high stakes and complex relationships, dives deeper into the dark and tangled heart of the conflict. The fragile alliances that had seemed like the mercenaries' strongest asset begin to fracture under the pressure of betrayal, secrets, and shifting motivations. The second part of the narrative unfolds as a relentless descent into chaos, where every choice carries grave consequences and trust becomes the most precious and rare currency. Following their initial victory in rescuing the hostage, the trio is forced into an uneasy alliance with forces they once considered enemies. This uneasy truce is marked by tension and suspicion, a testament to the precarious nature of loyalty in a world ruled by violence and survival. The characters' internal struggles come to the forefront, as past regrets and hidden agendas threaten to undermine their collective mission. The film deftly explores these emotional undercurrents, layering psychological complexity beneath the action-packed sequences. One of the most gripping developments involves the revelation of a double agent within their ranks, a betrayal that shakes the foundation of the mercenaries' trust. This twist not only raises the stakes but reframes the narrative, compelling the protagonists to question everything they believed about their allies and their own judgment. The revelation is handled with subtlety, unfolding through tense confrontations and quiet moments of realization that deepen character arcs and propel the plot forward. The antagonist, whose presence had been looming, steps fully into the light with a plan that is as ruthless as it is cunning. His motivations are revealed to be intertwined with a personal vendetta and a broader scheme for domination, transforming the conflict from a rescue mission into a battle for survival on multiple fronts. His manipulations test the mercenaries not just physically, but morally, forcing them to confront the cost of their own choices and the boundaries of their ethics. The film's pacing accelerates as the characters navigate a gauntlet of ambushes, close-quarters combat, and strategic maneuvers. The action sequences are visceral and meticulously choreographed, each fight scene serving as an extension of the characters' internal struggles and the narrative's escalating tension. The cinematography captures these moments with dynamic camera work that immerses the viewer in the chaos and immediacy of the conflict. A pivotal sequence involves a high-stakes infiltration into the antagonist's stronghold, a labyrinthine compound filled with traps, surveillance, and heavily armed guards. The tension here is palpable, amplified by tight framing, low lighting, and a suspenseful score that underscores the character's vulnerability and determination. The mercenaries' synergy is tested to its limits as they navigate this perilous terrain, their skills and wits pushed to the brink. Emotional stakes intensify as personal histories collide with present dangers. The protagonist's past decisions resurface, casting long shadows that complicate his leadership and resolve. The film does not shy away from exploring the weight of guilt and the quest for redemption, weaving these themes seamlessly into the action-driven narrative. The climax is a crescendo of violence and revelation. The mercenaries confront the antagonist in a brutal, no-holds-barred showdown that is as much about ideology and survival as it is about physical dominance. The fight choreography here is both spectacular and meaningful, reflecting the characters' evolution and the high cost of their struggle. The setting, a crumbling industrial complex that mirrors the decay of trust and order, adds symbolic weight to the confrontation. In the aftermath, the resolution is bittersweet. Victory is achieved but tempered by loss and sacrifice. Relationships are irrevocably changed, and the mercenaries emerge transformed, carrying the scars of their ordeal both visible and unseen. The film closes on a note that balances closure with ambiguity, acknowledging that in such a fractured world, peace is fragile and trust must be continually earned. Throughout this segment, the film maintains a taut balance between relentless action and introspective moments. Characters are given space to reflect amid the chaos, allowing their motivations and fears to resonate with authenticity. The editing rhythm complements this balance, alternating between rapid cuts that convey urgency and lingering shots that invite emotional connection. Sound design and music play critical roles in heightening tension and emotion. The score shifts seamlessly from pulsing, intense rhythms during combat to haunting melodies that underscore loss and reflection. Ambient sounds, distant gunfire, the hum of machinery, whispered conversations, anchor scenes in a palpable reality. Audience reactions to this part of the film often highlight its emotional depth beneath the action spectacle. Viewers appreciate the nuanced portrayal of loyalty and betrayal, the complexity of the antagonist, and the richly developed characters whose humanity shines amid violence. Critics have noted the film's ability to transcend genre conventions, delivering not just thrilling set pieces, but a narrative that challenges viewers to consider the costs of survival, the meaning of honor, and the fragility of human connection. In essence, this portion of the story is a powerful exploration of the shadows cast by conflict, the ways in which violence shapes and reshapes identity, trust, and destiny. It invites us to reflect on the cycles of betrayal and redemption that define human experience, all while delivering an unforgettable cinematic journey marked by intensity, heart, and profound insight. Within the pulse of this film's relentless action and intricate plotting lies a constellation of characters whose depths and contradictions enrich the narrative beyond mere spectacle. These are not archetypal heroes or villains rendered in black and white, but complex, textured individuals whose choices, fears, and loyalties invite us into a nuanced exploration of human nature amid chaos. To analyze these characters is to understand the film's heartbeat, the emotional and thematic core that transforms it from a series of physical confrontations into a study of identity, trust, and survival. At the center stands the protagonist, a figure marked by both strength and vulnerability. His skill in combat is matched by a quiet intensity that hints at a troubled past and a deeply ingrained sense of responsibility. Unlike the typical action hero, who strides through conflicts with unshakable confidence, he grapples with the weight of past mistakes and the moral ambiguities of his profession. His journey throughout the film is not only physical but profoundly internal, reflecting a struggle to reconcile the demands of survival with the desire for redemption and connection. The actor's portrayal captures this complexity through subtle gestures, moments of hesitation, flickers of doubt, and flashes of steely resolve that make him relatable and compelling. His motivations are layered. On one hand, he is driven by loyalty to his comrades and a commitment to their shared code. On the other, he wrestles with personal demons that challenge his capacity for trust and forgiveness. This tension animates his interactions and decisions, lending emotional depth to the high-stakes narrative. His relationships, especially with his teammates, serve as mirrors reflecting his evolving sense of self and the fragile bonds that sustain him in a world rife with betrayal. The second member of the trio offers a sharp contrast. A fiercely independent and pragmatic individual, she embodies both strength and skepticism. Her background suggests a history of hardship and resilience, and her guarded demeanor conceals a deep loyalty and fierce protectiveness. Throughout the film, she acts as both a foil and a complement to the protagonist, her pragmatism tempering his idealism, her wariness challenging his trust. This dynamic creates a rich interplay that fuels both tension and growth. Her character arc is one of gradual opening, a movement from self-reliance and guardedness toward vulnerability and collaboration. The actress's performance conveys this evolution with nuance, balancing moments of toughness with glimpses of empathy and doubt. Her skills in combat and strategy are matched by a keen intellect and emotional intelligence, making her an essential anchor for the team's cohesion. The third mercenary adds a layer of complexity that disrupts the group's equilibrium. His motivations are ambiguous, shaded by past loyalties and present uncertainties. He is both ally and enigma, a wildcard whose actions keep the others and the audience guessing. His presence introduces themes of betrayal and redemption as his loyalties shift and his past resurfaces to complicate the mission. This character embodies the moral ambiguity that permeates the film. Neither wholly villainous nor purely heroic, he challenges simplistic categorizations, illustrating the shades of gray that define human behavior in extreme circumstances. The actor's portrayal captures this fluidity, imbuing the role with charm, menace, and vulnerability in equal measure. The antagonist stands as a formidable force, whose presence looms large throughout the narrative. Unlike conventional villains driven by caricatured greed or malice, he is portrayed with a chilling complexity. His motivations intertwine personal vendettas with a broader desire for control and power, making him a mirror to the protagonist's own struggles with authority and morality. His charisma and calculated ruthlessness command attention, making his confrontations not only physical battles but ideological clashes. The actor's performance delves into the antagonist's psyche, revealing moments of cold calculation as well as glimpses of wounded humanity. This layered portrayal elevates the character beyond mere obstacle, inviting viewers to consider the roots of violence and the cost of unchecked ambition. Supporting characters enrich the narrative with diverse perspectives and emotional textures. Allies and adversaries alike are given depth, their own motivations and conflicts reflecting the film's thematic preoccupations. Family members, informants, and henchmen populate the story's landscape, each contributing to the mosaic of loyalty, betrayal, and survival. Interpersonal dynamics among the characters drive much of the emotional resonance. Trust is fragile and often tested. Alliances shift as secrets emerge and stakes rise. Moments of confrontation and reconciliation highlight the complexity of human relationships under pressure, portraying loyalty not as a given, but as a choice fraught with risk. Symbolism extends into character design and development. Costumes, scars, and physical mannerisms serve as visual shorthand for backstory and personality. The protagonist's worn gear and deliberate movements speak to experience and resilience. The antagonist's polished appearance and controlled gestures reflect calculated menace. Dialogue is crafted to reveal psychological depth, with subtext and pauses conveying unspoken tensions and alliances. Characters negotiate power, fear, hope, and regret in ways that feel authentic and nuanced, enhancing the film's immersive quality. Character arcs resist neat resolutions, mirroring the film's embrace of moral complexity. Growth and change occur amid setbacks and contradictions, reflecting real human struggles. The protagonist's path culminates in a tempered triumph, tempered by loss and introspection, while other characters face consequences that challenge notions of justice and redemption. Ultimately, the film's characters serve as conduits for its exploration of identity, power, and trust in a fractured world. Their struggles and transformations invite viewers to reflect on their own experiences of loyalty, betrayal, and the search for meaning amid chaos. Through this richly woven tapestry of personalities and relationships, the film transcends its genre, offering a profound meditation on the human condition, one that lingers long after the final scene fades to black. There's a particular kind of charm that comes with unearthing the hidden stories behind a film's creation, those peculiar, sometimes serendipitous moments that escape the spotlight, yet reveal the heart and humanity of the production. This film, with its sleek action sequences and intricate plot, is no exception. Beneath the surface of choreographed fights and tense dialogue lies a world of fascinating quirks, unexpected challenges, and creative ingenuity that shape the journey from script to screen. These strangest facts and behind-the-scenes anecdotes offer us a window into the joyful chaos and determined craftsmanship that define filmmaking at its most alive. One of the earliest tales that set the tone for production involved the film's renowned fight choreographer, whose reputation for blending martial arts authenticity with cinematic flair attracted much attention. During rehearsals, a particularly demanding sequence required the coordination of more than a dozen stunt performers executing rapid-fire moves in tight quarters. On the first attempt, a minor misstep led to an unplanned domino effect, sending several stunt artists tumbling in a comical pile. Instead of frustration, the room erupted in laughter, and that incident became a running joke, the Great Tumble, a reminder of the fine balance between precision and unpredictability in stunt work. The director, known for his hands-on approach, insisted on filming several key scenes in real locations rather than relying heavily on studio sets. This decision brought with it a series of unusual challenges. For instance, one early shoot took place in a bustling urban market where the cast and crew had to contend not only with curious onlookers, but also with an impromptu street festival that coincided unexpectedly. The vibrant energy of the festival was so infectious that it found its way into the film's atmosphere, adding an unplanned layer of authenticity and color. Crew members recount moments where local vendors offered snacks and encouragement, transforming the set into a lively communal space. Casting anecdotes abound, particularly involving one of the lead actors, who was relatively new to the genre, but quickly earned the respect of martial arts veterans on set. During early fight rehearsals, he surprised the stunt team with his dedication and rapid progression, learning complex sequences far faster than expected. At one point, he insisted on performing a particularly risky move himself, leading to a minor scrape, but also to an unspoken bond of trust and respect with the stunt coordinator. This commitment to authenticity elevated the film's fight scenes and set a tone of mutual admiration among the performers. The film's visual effects team faced a series of technical puzzles that became legendary in production lore. One notable challenge involved creating a seamless transition between practical effects and CGI in a pivotal rooftop fight. The sequence demanded precise timing and spatial awareness to maintain continuity and impact. Early tests yielded jarring results until an innovative technique involving synchronized camera rigs and motion capture was devised. This breakthrough not only solved the immediate problem, but influenced visual effects practices on future productions, showcasing how necessity can drive creative innovation. During the recording of the film's score, the composer incorporated traditional instruments to evoke the cultural backdrop authentically. In a memorable session, a power outage plunged the studio into darkness mid-take. Instead of halting, the musicians continued playing acoustically by candlelight, producing a hauntingly beautiful rendition that the director later insisted be included in the final soundtrack. This unplanned moment lent the music an ethereal quality that perfectly complemented the film's emotional undertones. Voice recording sessions revealed the camaraderie among the cast, marked by moments of levity amid intense work. Technical glitches occasionally led to repeated takes or unintended audio loops, prompting laughter and spontaneous improvisation that eased tension. One particularly memorable blooper involved a dramatic line accidentally spliced with a comically mismatched response, which the director chose to include as a hidden Easter egg in the DVD extras, delighting fans. Weather proved an unpredictable player throughout outdoor shoots. A meticulously planned dawn scene was nearly washed out by a sudden downpour, forcing the crew to adapt quickly. Instead of postponing, the director embraced the storm's atmospheric potential, capturing rain-soaked visuals that heightened the scene's emotional intensity. This flexibility became emblematic of the production's ethos, turning challenges into creative opportunities. Costume design featured collaborations with local artisans who revived traditional dyeing and weaving techniques. A serendipitous discovery of an ancient method produced fabrics with subtle iridescence, enhancing key costumes with a unique shimmer that visually symbolized transformation and resilience. These details, while not immediately obvious, enriched the film's texture and cultural resonance. Marketing efforts embraced interactive storytelling, launching a viral campaign that included puzzles and cryptic messages mirroring the film's narrative. Fans were invited to decode clues leading to exclusive content, fostering a passionate community of sleuths and enthusiasts. Cast members participated in live Q&A sessions and puzzle-solving events, blurring the line between creators and audience. Throughout production, moments of human connection defined the atmosphere. Long hours on set were punctuated by shared meals, impromptu storytelling, and genuine laughter, forging bonds that transcended professional roles. These relationships infused performances with authenticity and warmth, adding intangible depth to the cinematic experience. In retrospect, the strangest facts about this film are not mere curiosities, but vivid expressions of the collaborative spirit and creative problem-solving that animate filmmaking. They remind us that behind every polished frame lies a tapestry of human moments, unexpected, challenging, joyous, that collectively bring stories to life. These tales enrich our appreciation, transforming viewers into insiders, inviting us to see the art not just as finished product, but as a vibrant, living journey shared by many hearts and minds. There's a powerful alchemy that happens when pivotal moments within a film transcend their immediate narrative function to become vessels of deeper meaning. Events that resonate not just as plot points, but as rich sites for reflection on human nature, society, and storytelling itself. In this film, such significant events unfold with a deliberate craft that invites critical examination. Each confrontation, revelation, and choice serves as a prism through which themes of trust, power, identity, and sacrifice are refracted, amplifying the story's emotional and intellectual impact. One of the most striking early events, the hostage rescue, functions on multiple levels beyond the adrenaline-fueled surface. From a critical perspective, it introduces the film's core tensions. The fragility of human life amid violence, the precariousness of alliances, and the cost of intervention in complex power dynamics. The cinematography's tight framing during this sequence immerses viewers in claustrophobic immediacy, reflecting the characters' intense focus and vulnerability. The choreography is not mere spectacle, but a physical manifestation of the mercenaries' fractured trust and reliance on each other. This event establishes the stakes, setting a tone that blends urgency with moral complexity. The dynamics between the mercenaries crystallize in their interactions following this rescue. Their uneasy cooperation, tinged with suspicion and unspoken histories, offers a microcosm of the film's broader themes. Through sharp dialogue and charged silences, these moments probe the nature of loyalty, how it is earned, tested, and sometimes betrayed. The film's pacing here allows space for reflection amid action, underscoring that survival is as much about emotional navigation as physical prowess. The antagonist's escalation of conflict introduces a layered critique of power and control. His strategic moves and psychological manipulation reveal a worldview shaped by loss and ambition, challenging simplistic villainy. His confrontations with the protagonist serve as ideological battlegrounds, where notions of justice, revenge, and authority clash. Cinematically, these scenes employ stark lighting and composition that isolate characters visually, emphasizing alienation and moral ambiguity. The antagonist's presence drives narrative tension while inviting viewers to consider the roots and costs of violence. Betrayal emerges as a key motif in the unfolding events. The revelation of a double agent not only propels plot twists, but serves as a meditation on trust and deception in fractured systems. This event destabilizes the group's cohesion, prompting questions about identity and allegiance that echo through subsequent choices and consequences. The film's handling of betrayal is nuanced, avoiding melodrama in favor of exploring emotional and ethical ramifications. The pacing slows to capture the shock and recalibration, allowing audiences to inhabit characters' turmoil. A pivotal infiltration sequence into the antagonist's lair combines narrative suspense with thematic depth. The labyrinthine setting, dark, claustrophobic, filled with traps, mirrors the psychological entrapment faced by characters. The film's sound design here heightens tension through layered ambient noises and strategic silences, creating an immersive atmosphere. The cinematography's interplay of shadows and tight framing accentuates vulnerability and determination, reinforcing themes of entrapment and resilience. The climactic showdown is a masterful convergence of physical action and ideological confrontation. Fight choreography is imbued with symbolic weight. Each movement reflects characters, inner conflicts, and the broader stakes of justice and survival. The setting, a decaying industrial complex, symbolizes societal breakdown and the erosion of trust. Editing rhythms amplify intensity, weaving close-ups of strained expressions with sweeping action shots to balance emotional and visual impact. This final confrontation also interrogates the costs of violence and the possibility of redemption. Characters, choices, and sacrifices evoke themes of forgiveness, consequence, and the ambiguous nature of victory. The resolution avoids neat closure, instead presenting a tempered triumph that acknowledges loss and complexity. This openness invites ongoing reflection, positioning the film within a tradition of morally engaged storytelling. Throughout, the film employs visual and auditory motifs that deepen thematic resonance. Recurring images of light-piercing darkness underscore the tension between revelation and concealment, while sound motifs align with characters and ideas, enhancing narrative cohesion. These elements contribute to an immersive experience that engages viewers intellectually and emotionally. Audience reception highlights the effectiveness of these events in conveying complexity and emotional depth. Viewers commend the film for balancing thrilling action with thoughtful exploration of trust, loyalty, and morality. Discussions in fan communities often focus on the nuanced portrayal of characters and the film's refusal to simplify conflict, fostering rich interpretive engagement. Critically, the film is praised for transcending genre conventions, using its action framework to explore profound themes. Reviews note the layered narrative and strong performances that anchor the film's impact, highlighting its success in provoking thought alongside entertainment. In sum, the significant events serve as keystones of meaning and emotion, moments where narrative, theme, and cinematic craft coalesce to create a work that resonates beyond the screen. They invite us not only to witness, but to engage deeply with questions of identity, power, and human connection, making the film a compelling meditation on the complexities of trust and survival in a fractured world. There's an unmistakable magic that happens not just on screen but behind the scenes, the countless hours, the unheralded moments of creativity and collaboration, the unpredictable challenges met with ingenuity that breathes life into a film. The production of this movie was a journey marked by such moments, where the boundaries between art and reality blurred, revealing the human heart behind the polished exterior. Diving into the filmmaking process and its myriad stories opens a window into the alchemy of cinema, where passion, skill, and serendipity converge to create something that resonates far beyond the frame. From the earliest stages, the filmmakers embraced a philosophy of authenticity and intensity. Pre-production involved exhaustive planning, particularly around the film's complex action sequences. The fight choreography, central to the movie's visceral appeal, was designed in collaboration with experts renowned for blending traditional martial arts with cinematic flair. Rehearsals were grueling and precise. Actors and stunt performers immersed themselves in weeks of training to ensure that every punch, kick, and maneuver would feel grounded and real. The director's insistence on practical effects, whenever possible, underscored a commitment to visceral storytelling that would pull viewers into the heart of each confrontation. One of the most compelling behind-the-scenes stories revolves around a particularly ambitious fight sequence set in a narrow alleyway. The scene required intricate camera work to capture simultaneous action from multiple angles, demanding seamless coordination between the camera crew and stunt team. During filming, a minor miscommunication led to a near collision between camera and performers, prompting an immediate recalibration of choreography and camera paths. Rather than causing frustration, this incident sparked a collaborative spirit. Crew members and actors alike pitched in to refine the sequence, resulting in a dynamic and fluid scene that became a highlight of the film. Location scouting presented its own adventures. The production opted for a mix of urban environments and constructed sets, seeking to capture both the gritty realism and controlled atmosphere required by the story. Securing permissions to film in certain historic districts posed challenges, but the team's respectful approach and clear vision won over local authorities and communities. This cooperation added layers of authenticity to the film's setting, as real-world textures and ambient life seeped into the scenes. Anecdotes from location shoots include moments when unexpected local events, street fairs, weather shifts, or spontaneous performances were woven into filming, enhancing the organic feel. Casting was a journey of discovery. The lead actors, each bringing distinct backgrounds and skill sets, underwent an intensive audition and workshop process. The director placed great emphasis on chemistry, knowing that the film's emotional resonance hinged on believable relationships amid chaos. One supporting actor, initially cast in a minor role, impressed with their improvisational flair and deep engagement with the character, leading to an expanded part and new scenes added to the script. This flexibility exemplified the production's openness to organic evolution. Visual effects, while deliberately sparing to maintain groundedness, involved innovative techniques. The team pioneered a hybrid approach that blended miniature models with CGI to create expansive environments that felt tactile and immersive. For example, the depiction of certain chase sequences employed detailed scale models filmed with motion-controlled cameras, allowing for dynamic perspectives impossible with full-scale sets. These were seamlessly integrated with live-action footage, a process that required close collaboration between effects artists, cinematographers, and editors. Sound design played a pivotal role in shaping the film's atmosphere. The team captured ambient noises from shooting locations, layering them with meticulously crafted effects that heightened tension and emotional nuance. The mix balanced subtle environmental sounds with the roar of combat and the whisper of quiet moments, creating an auditory tapestry that pulled viewers deeper into the narrative. Recording sessions featured innovative use of traditional instruments alongside synthesized elements, blending cultural authenticity with modern cinematic sensibility. Music composition was a deeply collaborative process. The composer worked closely with the director and cultural consultants to weave thematic motifs that underscored character arcs and narrative shifts. Recording sessions sometimes veered into improvisation, with musicians responding in real time to footage, creating spontaneous layers that enriched the score. A memorable incident occurred when a power outage during recording forced a candlelit acoustic session, whose haunting quality was embraced and incorporated into the final soundtrack. Voice acting sessions brought a different kind of energy. The cast recorded together, fostering an atmosphere of mutual support and playful experimentation. Technical glitches occasionally led to humorous outtakes and impromptu line reads that broke tension and built camaraderie. These moments of levity contrasted with the intensity of the film's themes, grounding the process in human connection. Editing was a marathon of creativity and problem-solving. The editorial team worked through thousands of shots, balancing the need for narrative clarity with the film's kinetic energy. They developed innovative transitions and pacing techniques that maintained tension without exhausting the audience. A particularly challenging sequence involved integrating practical stunts with visual effects. Through iterative collaboration, the team achieved a seamless blend that preserved realism and spectacle. Marketing embraced interactive storytelling, launching campaigns that mirrored the film's themes of mystery and alliance. Fans engaged with puzzles and cryptic teasers online, cultivating a community eager to delve into the film's mythology. Cast and crew participated in live Q&A sessions and behind-the-scenes reveals, strengthening the film's connection to its audience. Throughout production, moments of exhaustion were balanced by bursts of joy and creativity. Long days on set were punctuated by shared meals, laughter, and storytelling, building relationships that fueled dedication and passion. The director's leadership style emphasized respect and openness, creating an environment where challenges were met collectively and solutions often emerged spontaneously. Looking back, many involved describe the production as a transformative experience, a testament to the power of collaboration, resilience, and shared vision. These behind-the-scenes insights enrich our understanding of the film, reminding us that cinema is not merely about images on a screen, but about the countless acts of artistry and humanity that bring those images to life. In essence, the strangest and most fascinating facts about this film are not just curiosities, but vibrant threads woven into the tapestry of its creation. They reveal the heartbeats behind the choreography, the laughter behind the tension, and the ingenuity behind the spectacle. These stories invite us to appreciate the film not only as a finished work, but as a living testament to the enduring magic of storytelling made real by human hands. There is an undeniable power in the places where a story unfolds, a power that goes beyond mere backdrop or scenery. In this film, the settings themselves emerge almost as characters, breathing life and texture into the narrative, shaping mood, and deepening the thematic resonance. From gritty urban streets to shadowed interiors, the world crafted around the characters invites us not just to observe but to inhabit its spaces, to feel the pulse of danger, tension, and fleeting moments of calm that define the film's emotional landscape. The film opens in a cityscape that is at once familiar and fraught, a place where the veneer of modern life conceals undercurrents of violence and distrust. The filmmakers chose real locations with layered histories, streets lined with weathered brick, narrow alleyways heavy with shadows, and bustling marketplaces rich with color and sound. These settings evoke a lived-in authenticity, grounding the narrative's high-stakes action in a world that feels palpably real. The camera often lingers on textures, the chipped paint on walls, the grime on concrete, the flicker of neon signs, immersing viewers in a tactile sense of place. Urban environments serve more than aesthetic purposes. They mirror the story's themes of fragmentation and survival. The maze-like streets and confined spaces reflect the characters' own entrapments, caught between past regrets and uncertain futures, alliances and betrayals. Cinematography uses tight framing and dynamic camera movement to convey claustrophobia and urgency, often weaving through crowds or darting between obstacles to mimic the mercenaries' precarious navigation of danger. Contrast emerges as the film moves between exterior cityscapes and interior spaces that range from starkly utilitarian to claustrophobically ornate. The antagonist's lair, a fortified compound marked by high-tech security and cold precision, contrasts sharply with the more organic, chaotic urban world. This juxtaposition underscores thematic tensions between control and chaos, modern power and primal survival instincts. The cinematographer uses cold, blue-tinged lighting inside the compound to create an atmosphere of menace and detachment, emphasizing the isolation and moral coldness of those who wield power there. The interiors of safe houses, abandoned warehouses, and hidden chambers are imbued with symbolic weight. These spaces often feature low-key lighting and deep shadows, creating a chiaroscuro effect that visually represents the film's interplay between revelation and concealment, trust and suspicion. The choice to use practical lighting, flickering bulbs, handheld torches, adds a gritty realism that heightens suspense and intimacy. The viewer feels the physical and psychological weight of these environments as the characters confront threats both external and internal. Natural elements punctuate the setting with symbolic resonance. Rain-soaked streets glisten under harsh lights, reflecting fractured realities and cleansing moments. Smoke and fire, whether from explosions or burning debris, inject both danger and transformation, echoing the characters' struggles and evolutions. The film's use of weather and environmental effects is not incidental, but deliberately crafted to amplify mood and underscore narrative beats. Color grading throughout the film is a deliberate tool for mood creation. The urban landscape is dominated by muted earth tones, grays, browns, and desaturated blues that evoke weariness and tension. Against this palette, splashes of vibrant color, red fabrics, glowing screens, flashes of blood stand out sharply, drawing attention and symbolizing urgency, danger, and passion. These chromatic choices guide emotional responses and highlight narrative focal points. The film's visual texture is further enhanced by meticulous attention to detail. Close-up shots emphasize tactile surfaces, scuffed leather, scratched metal, damp stone, inviting viewers into an embodied experience of the setting. This sensory richness bridges the gap between audience and narrative world, making the tension and stakes feel immediate and visceral. Spatial composition plays a significant role in storytelling. Characters are framed against imposing architecture or confined within tight spaces to communicate their emotional states, alienation, determination, vulnerability. Thresholds such as doorways, staircases, and narrow corridors mark transitions and decisions, visually reinforcing themes of crossing boundaries, confronting fears, and shifting loyalties. Reflective surfaces, mirrors, windows, polished floors, are used symbolically to explore themes of identity and perception. These visual motifs invite viewers to contemplate duality and the elusive nature of truth, as characters confront versions of themselves and others that are both real and distorted. The film's cinematography employs a blend of steady, controlled shots and dynamic, handheld camera work. The steadiness conveys moments of calculation and control, while the handheld sequences immerse viewers in chaos and immediacy. This balance reflects the characters' oscillation between strategy and instinct, order and upheaval. Editing complements these visual strategies with a rhythm that modulates tension and release. Quick cuts during action sequences heighten adrenaline and disorientation, while longer takes in quieter scenes invite reflection and emotional connection. Transitions often use thematic motifs, such as a flickering light or a recurring sound, to weave scenes together poetically, enhancing narrative cohesion. Sound design intertwines seamlessly with visual elements to create a fully immersive atmosphere. Ambient noises, the murmur of distant crowds, the clatter of footsteps, the hum of machinery, anchor scenes in reality, while carefully layered effects underscore tension and highlight narrative cues. The score alternates between sparse, haunting melodies and intense, rhythmic pulses that drive action and emotional beats, reinforcing the film's tonal shifts. Together, setting and cinematic elements transform the film into a sensory and emotional journey. The world the characters inhabit is textured and alive, reflecting the narrative's complexities and inviting viewers to experience the story as both spectacle and intimate human drama. In essence, the film's settings and visual language are inseparable from its storytelling. They do not merely frame action but deepen meaning, evoke mood, and enrich character exploration. Through these carefully crafted spaces and cinematic techniques, the film opens a doorway into a world that is as emotionally resonant as it is visually compelling, drawing us into its shadows and light, its dangers and hopes with every frame. There's a unique kind of magic that happens away from the camera's eye, moments filled with laughter, unexpected twists, and the kind of human connection that turns a film set into a close-knit community. The making of this film was no exception. Behind the polished scenes of tightly choreographed fights and razor-sharp dialogue lies a world buzzing with personality, resilience, and surprising joy. These behind-the-scenes insights reveal the heart of the production, reminding us that filmmaking is as much about people and their shared experiences as it is about the art they create together. From the earliest days of rehearsal, the atmosphere on set was charged with an infectious energy. The director's approach was deliberately collaborative, encouraging cast and crew alike to bring ideas forward, to experiment, and to infuse the story with their own creativity. This openness fostered an environment where mistakes became opportunities and spontaneity was celebrated. One of the first fun moments recalled by the stunt coordinator involved a rehearsal where a complicated fight sequence went hilariously awry. What was meant to be a tense showdown turned into an accidental group tumble. Rather than frustration, the moment was met with laughter that echoed through the halls and set a tone of camaraderie that persisted throughout filming. There's an unspoken language in cinema, a dialogue between light and shadow, sound and silence, movement and stillness. This film speaks that language fluently, crafting a sensory and emotional experience that immerses viewers from the first frame to the last. To truly appreciate the artistry behind this immersive journey, we need to explore the intricate filmmaking techniques that shape its atmosphere, the deliberate choices in cinematography, sound design, editing, and camera work that together build a world pulsing with tension, vulnerability, and raw human complexity. Beyond the artistry lies the film's trajectory in the world of box office production, a dance of market forces, audience engagement, and cultural resonance that defines its reach and impact. The cinematography serves as the visual backbone of the film's storytelling, carefully orchestrated to evoke mood and mirror thematic depth. From the opening moments, the director of photography employs a blend of sweeping panoramic shots and intimate close-ups, establishing a rhythm that shifts effortlessly between expansive landscapes and personal emotional spaces. The urban environments are captured with a gritty realism, weathered textures, fluctuating natural and artificial lighting that grounds the narrative in a tangible world. These locations are not mere backdrops. They embody the film's tension between confinement and escape, familiarity and threat. Lighting is used with precision to articulate psychological nuance and narrative tension. The film's palette oscillates between stark contrasts, sharp chiaroscuro in moments of confrontation, and soft, diffused warmth in scenes of vulnerability. This interplay of light and shadow does more than create visual interest. It symbolizes the moral ambiguity and emotional complexity at the story's core. Scenes of danger are often veiled in shadow, evoking uncertainty and fear, while moments of revelation and connection bask in inviting light. The subtle gradations in lighting reinforce the narrative's oscillation between trust and suspicion, clarity and deception. Color grading extends this visual symbolism. A muted palette dominates urban and interior scenes, grays, blues, and earth tones, suggesting weariness and unresolved tension. Contrasting bursts of saturated color, deep reds, golds, and flashes of electric neon, punctuate the narrative, signaling moments of passion, violence, or transformation. These color choices guide emotional response and heighten thematic resonance, subtly underscoring the characters' journeys and the story's unfolding conflicts. The film's editing is a study in pacing and rhythm, expertly calibrated to balance visceral action with moments of emotional reflection. Action sequences unfold with rapid cuts, fragmented perspectives, and dynamic transitions that immerse the viewer in chaos and urgency. Yet, these bursts are counterbalanced by longer, contemplative takes that allow space for character development and thematic exploration. This measured modulation prevents sensory overload while deepening emotional engagement. Transitions between scenes are crafted with care, often employing visual motifs, glimpses of recurring symbols, shadows crossing frames, or sustained sounds that link disparate moments and enhance narrative coherence. The editor's skillful interweaving of parallel storylines and flashbacks maintains suspense while revealing character motivations and plot intricacies. This nonlinear narrative structure invites active viewer participation, transforming watching into a process of discovery and interpretation. Sound design is integral to the film's immersive atmosphere. The ambient soundscape combines authentic urban noise, distant sirens, murmured conversations, footsteps, with meticulously crafted effects that heighten tension and underscore emotional beats. Silence is wielded as a powerful tool, punctuating scenes to amplify suspense or intimacy. The film's sonic texture envelops the viewer, blurring the line between diegetic sound and score to create a layered auditory experience. The musical score blends traditional instrumentation with contemporary composition, weaving thematic motifs that echo character arcs and narrative shifts. Recurring musical phrases serve as emotional signposts, evolving in tempo and texture to mirror tension and release. The composer's integration of cultural elements adds depth and authenticity, grounding the story's emotional landscape in a rich sonic heritage. Camera work is dynamic and versatile, adapting to the narrative's demands. Handheld cameras provide immediacy and intimacy during action and confrontation, capturing the raw energy and unpredictability of combat. In contrast, stabilized tracking shots and cranes offer sweeping vistas and controlled perspectives that contextualize the characters' journeys. The use of slow motion in critical moments accentuates emotional weight and visual spectacle, allowing viewers to absorb the significance of a gesture, a glance, or a collision. Visual effects, though sparingly used, are seamlessly integrated to enhance rather than dominate. Techniques blending CGI with practical effects create realistic environments and stunts, preserving tactile authenticity. This hybrid approach exemplifies the film's commitment to immersive storytelling grounded in tangible reality. In terms of box office production, the film's journey reflects a strategic balance between artistic ambition and commercial viability. The marketing campaign leveraged digital platforms and social media to engage a diverse audience, incorporating interactive elements that echoed the film's themes of mystery and alliance. Viral teasers, cryptic puzzles, and behind-the-scenes content cultivated a dedicated fan base eager to unravel the narrative. Domestically, the film opened strongly, buoyed by positive critical reception and word-of-mouth enthusiasm. Its success challenged preconceptions about the marketability of morally complex action films, demonstrating audience appetite for stories that combine thrilling spectacle with intellectual depth. International releases were tailored to cultural contexts, with localized marketing emphasizing universal themes of trust and survival. Financially, the film performed robustly against its budget, its box office returns supplemented by digital sales and streaming deals that expanded its reach. Its reception sparked industry discussions about genre evolution, representation, and the fusion of artistry and commercial appeal. Beyond numbers, the film's impact is measured by its resonance with audiences and critics alike. It sparked conversations about narrative complexity in action cinema, the portrayal of morally ambiguous characters, and the interplay of cultural motifs in storytelling. This cultural footprint underscores the film's significance beyond box office metrics. Ultimately, the filmmaking techniques, meticulously crafted cinematography, evocative lighting and color, precise editing, immersive sound design, and dynamic camera work, function as narrative instruments that shape viewer experience at every level. These elements coalesce to create an atmosphere that is tense, intimate, and emotionally charged, inviting audiences into a richly textured world where every frame carries meaning. Through its artistry and strategic production, the film stands as a testament to the power of cinema to blend spectacle with substance, crafting stories that engage both heart and mind. It is this synthesis that ensures its lasting impression, a film that challenges, captivates, and invites reflection long after the final frame fades. The interactions among the cast were a cornerstone of the film's authenticity. The three leads, each bringing distinct backgrounds and temperaments, formed a dynamic trio not only on screen but off. Between takes, they were often seen huddled in intense conversation, dissecting character motivations or joking about their latest fight choreography mishap. Their chemistry, so palpable in the final cut, was nurtured through hours of shared rehearsals, long commutes, and impromptu bonding moments over meals or downtime on set. One particularly memorable anecdote involved the lead actors spontaneously breaking into a mock martial arts dance-off during a rain delay, lightening the mood and reminding everyone that even amid serious work, joy finds its way. Technical challenges were met with a spirit of ingenuity and teamwork. Filming the high-octane action sequences required precise timing, impeccable coordination, and a keen awareness of safety. During one intense rooftop chase scene, unexpected gusts of wind threatened to disrupt delicate rigging and camera placements. Rather than halt production, the crew adapted swiftly, improvising windbreaks, adjusting choreography, and leveraging the natural elements to enhance the scene's drama. This flexibility became emblematic of the production's resilience, a reminder that filmmaking is as much about problem-solving as it is about creativity. Costume fittings brought their own share of surprises. Collaborations with local artisans introduced traditional textile techniques that gave the costumes a unique texture and cultural resonance. During one fitting, an artisan demonstrated an ancient dyeing process that resulted in shimmering fabrics, unexpectedly adding a visual layer that became a hallmark of certain characters' appearances. This discovery inspired adjustments in lighting and camera work to capture the costumes' iridescence, showcasing how practical craft and cinematography intertwined organically. Voice recording sessions provided a window into the cast's playful side. The actors often recorded together, creating a lively atmosphere where lines were tested, reinterpreted, and sometimes humorously parodied. Technical glitches occasionally caused lines to loop unexpectedly, resulting in unintentional comedic timing that broke tension and fostered camaraderie. The director embraced these moments, choosing to include some of the candid outtakes as bonus content, offering fans a glimpse of the warmth behind the performances. One of the most challenging aspects of production involved shooting in historically sensitive locations. The crew navigated strict regulations designed to protect architectural heritage, requiring meticulous planning and minimal disruption. On a particularly cold and gray morning, an unexpected snowstorm threatened to delay an exterior shoot scheduled at a centuries-old fortress. The team rallied, adapting gear and schedules to film despite the weather, capturing atmospheric shots that later became some of the film's most visually striking sequences. This episode underscored the crew's dedication and the unpredictable nature of location shooting. Editing was a marathon that demanded patience and vision. The post-production team sifted through thousands of shots, balancing the film's kinetic energy with moments of emotional depth. A notable challenge involved integrating practical stunts with visual effects. Initial tests revealed jarring transitions that required iterative refinement. Collaborative sessions between editors, visual effects artists, and the director led to innovative solutions, blending footage seamlessly and preserving the film's immersive feel. The musical score's creation was an adventure in itself. The composer, working closely with cultural consultants, blended traditional instruments with modern orchestration to evoke both heritage and suspense. During one recording session, an unplanned power outage forced the musicians to continue playing acoustically by candlelight. The haunting melodies captured in that moment were woven into the final score, lending the film an ethereal, timeless quality. Marketing embraced interactive elements that extended the film's narrative beyond the screen. Fans engaged with online puzzles and cryptic teasers that mirrored the film's themes, fostering a passionate community eager to delve deeper. Cast and crew actively participated in these events, sharing behind-the-scenes stories and creating a dialogue that enriched the viewing experience. Throughout production, moments of exhaustion were tempered by shared meals, impromptu games, and storytelling that knitted the team together. The director's inclusive leadership style cultivated an atmosphere where every voice was valued and every challenge met collectively. This human spirit translated into performances brimming with authenticity and emotional resonance. Years later, those involved remember the production not only as a demanding artistic endeavor, but as a formative experience marked by friendship, laughter, and creative triumph. These behind-the-scenes stories enrich our understanding of the film, reminding us that cinema is a mosaic of human moments, unexpected, challenging, joyful, that coalesce into the magic we see on screen. In essence, these insights reveal the beating heart behind the film's polished surface. They invite us to appreciate not only the story told, but the journey taken, the people who dared, laughed, and persevered to bring it to life. It is this tapestry of shared experience that transforms a movie from a solitary image into a living, breathing celebration of collaboration and creativity. There's a quiet, persistent heartbeat beneath the roaring pulse of this film, an intricate web of themes and symbols that transforms its surface-level thrills into something far more resonant and profound. As we journey through the kinetic violence and shifting alliances, what emerges is a layered meditation on trust, identity, power, and survival elements that intertwine to create a narrative that echoes beyond its frame, inviting us to reflect on the fragility and complexity of human connection in a fractured world. Trust stands at the film's core, portrayed not as a given but as a fragile, fiercely guarded treasure. The mercenaries' alliances are tenuous, constantly tested by the shadow of betrayal and the harsh realities of their violent environment. Trust here is a currency more precious than any weapon, yet more elusive, a fragile thread that can snap under pressure but, when nurtured, sustains and empowers. The film delves deeply into the paradoxes of trust. How it demands vulnerability in a world that punishes weakness, how it can be both shield and snare, and how the yearning for connection drives even the most hardened characters to risk everything. This theme is intricately woven through character interactions and narrative twists. The protagonist's internal conflict, between his need for companionship and his fear of betrayal, mirrors the larger tensions between cooperation and self-preservation. His relationships with his fellow mercenaries unfold as delicate dances of suspicion and loyalty, underscoring that trust is earned in moments of shared risk and revealed through sacrifice. The film's refusal to depict trust simplistically adds emotional realism, portraying it as a dynamic force shaped by history, choice, and circumstance. Identity emerges as another pivotal theme, explored through the characters' struggles to define themselves amid chaos. Each mercenary carries a past marked by loss, regret, and survival, yet their present selves are fluid, shaped by their shifting roles within the team and the mission. The film challenges fixed notions of heroism and villainy, portraying identity as a negotiation, a process of becoming rather than a static state. This fluidity reflects the film's broader engagement with moral ambiguity and the complexities of human nature. Symbolism enriches these thematic explorations, embedding meaning in visual motifs and narrative devices. The film's use of masks, both literal and metaphorical, serves as a powerful emblem of identity and concealment. Characters often operate behind facades, whether to protect themselves or manipulate others, highlighting themes of deception and self-preservation. The gradual removal or revealing of these masks parallels moments of vulnerability and truth, underscoring the tension between appearance and reality. Light and shadow function as recurring symbolic elements, visually articulating the film's exploration of clarity and obscurity. Scenes bathed in harsh, unyielding light evoke moments of exposure, confrontation, and revelation, while those shrouded in darkness suggest secrecy, uncertainty, and moral complexity. This chiaroscuro not only enhances mood, but metaphorically represents the characters' internal and external struggles, where truth and deception intermingle. The motif of weapons extends beyond their physical function to symbolize power, agency, and the consequences of violence. The mercenaries' mastery of arms reflects both skill and burden, the capacity to defend and destroy, to impose will and face repercussions. The film meditates on the dual nature of power, its seductive allure, and its corrosive potential, inviting viewers to consider the ethical dimensions of survival in a brutal world. Water, fire, and urban landscapes serve as elemental and environmental symbols. Water appears in scenes of cleansing and transition, suggesting moments of emotional catharsis and renewal amid turmoil. Fire embodies destruction and rebirth, marking pivotal turning points where characters confront loss and transformation. The urban setting itself, with its labyrinthine alleys and neon-lit streets, symbolizes the complexity and fragmentation of the social order, a place where danger lurks beneath the surface and survival demands constant vigilance. The film's narrative structure also contributes to its thematic richness. Its nonlinear progression, punctuated by flashbacks and shifting perspectives, mirrors the fractured nature of memory and trust. This storytelling choice encourages viewers to piece together the mosaic of character motivations and events, engaging actively with the film's moral and emotional puzzles. Interpersonal relationships embody themes of loyalty, betrayal, and reconciliation, illustrating the human capacity for connection despite adversity. Moments of sacrifice and forgiveness punctuate the narrative, highlighting the costs and possibilities inherent in trusting others. These dynamics anchor the film's emotional core, providing a counterbalance to its relentless action. Symbolic use of space, thresholds, confined interiors, open streets, enhances thematic resonance. Doorways and corridors mark transitions and decisions, reflecting characters, journeys between ignorance and knowledge, isolation and connection. Tight, enclosed spaces evoke entrapment and vulnerability, while expansive exteriors suggest freedom and uncertainty. The film's score and sound design weave thematic motifs into the auditory landscape. Recurring musical phrases align with characters and emotional beats, reinforcing narrative cohesion and mood. Ambient sounds and silence are employed strategically to heighten tension and invite reflection, complementing the visual symbolism. Ultimately, the film's themes and symbolism transform it from a high-octane thriller into a layered exploration of human nature. It challenges viewers to grapple with the complexities of trust, identity, and power, portraying survival not as mere physical endurance, but as an ethical and emotional endeavor. Through its rich tapestry of motifs and ideas, the film resonates as both a gripping narrative and a profound meditation, a story that lingers, inviting us to reflect on the fragile yet enduring threads that connect us all. There's an intricate dance that happens behind every film, the choreography not just of actors, but of cameras, lighting, sound, and editing, all weaving together to create an immersive world that feels at once tangible and evocative. In this film, the filmmakers embraced a fusion of techniques that heightened its kinetic energy while deepening emotional resonance, crafting a cinematic experience that pulses with intensity and subtlety in equal measure. Exploring these filmmaking choices reveals how artistry and technology intertwine to shape not just the story, but the very atmosphere that pulls viewers into its grip. From the outset, cinematography established a visual language that balanced precision with fluidity. The opening sequences feature sweeping wide shots that situate the narrative in a sprawling urban landscape, a world of stark contrasts, shadows, and fragmented light. These images convey scale and isolation simultaneously, inviting viewers to feel the city's pulse while underscoring the characters' precarious place within it. The director of photography employed dynamic camera movements, tracking shots that follow action seamlessly, swooping crane angles that capture verticality and danger, and intimate close-ups that reveal the smallest flickers of emotion. This visual versatility mirrors the film's oscillation between explosive action and quiet psychological tension. Lighting design was pivotal in crafting mood and theme. The filmmakers made deliberate use of chiaroscuro, the interplay of light and shadow, to evoke moral ambiguity and suspense. Scenes of confrontation and revelation are often lit with sharp contrasts, where half-hidden faces and deep shadows suggest secrets and duality. In contrast, moments of connection or vulnerability are bathed in warm, diffused light that softens edges and invites empathy. The lighting's shifting textures guide emotional response, emphasizing the film's themes of trust and deception. Color grading further enhanced atmosphere and thematic depth. A palette dominated by muted earth tones, grays, browns, and faded blues, grounds the narrative in gritty realism, while bursts of saturated reds and golds punctuate moments of passion, violence, and revelation. These chromatic choices not only heighten visual impact, but serve as symbolic markers, signaling shifts in tone and character development. The film's editing style strikes a deliberate balance between rapid cuts and lingering takes. Action sequences employ quick, rhythmic editing that accelerates heartbeats and immerses viewers in chaotic energy. Yet, these moments are interspersed with longer shots and pauses that allow tension to build and characters to breathe, fostering emotional connection. Transitions are crafted with thematic intent. Match cuts and visual motifs create poetic linkages between scenes, reinforcing narrative cohesion and inviting reflection. Sound design is layered and immersive, blending authentic environmental sounds with stylized effects. The urban soundscape, a tapestry of distant sirens, footsteps, and muffled conversations, anchors the film's world in reality, while the heightened clatter of combat and whispered secrets amplify tension. Silence is wielded strategically, punctuating moments of revelation or dread to sharpen focus and emotional impact. The musical score interweaves traditional instruments with contemporary orchestration, creating a sonic palette that is at once culturally rooted and cinematically expansive. Recurring motifs align with characters and themes, evolving alongside narrative arcs to reinforce mood and meaning. The composer's use of rhythm and melody underscores both the urgency of physical conflict and the poignancy of personal struggle. Visual effects, while sparing, are meticulously integrated to enhance rather than overshadow practical action. Sequences combining CGI with on-set stunts, such as rooftop chases and dynamic fight scenes, maintain tactile realism while expanding the film's visual possibilities. The seamless blending of digital and practical effects reflects a commitment to immersive storytelling. Camera techniques include the use of handheld shots during moments of chaos to convey immediacy and disorientation, contrasted with stabilized framing in scenes of contemplation or control. This interplay mirrors the characters' psychological states, drawing viewers into their experience. Slow motion is employed selectively to emphasize critical moments, heightening drama and focus. Box office production reflected the film's ambitious scope and strategic marketing. Opening domestically to strong numbers, the film capitalized on word-of-mouth and critical praise, expanding into international markets with tailored campaigns that highlighted its unique blend of action and thematic depth. The marketing team embraced digital engagement, launching interactive puzzles and social media content that deepened audience involvement and mirrored the film's narrative puzzles. The film's commercial success challenged assumptions about the marketability of complex, morally nuanced action films, demonstrating audience appetite for stories that combine thrills with intellectual and emotional substance. Its reception sparked discussions within the industry about representation, genre boundaries, and storytelling innovation. Ultimately, the filmmaking techniques, cinematography, lighting, editing, sound, and visual effects function as integral narrative devices, shaping not only what viewers see and hear but how they feel and understand. These elements coalesce to create an atmosphere that is immersive, textured, and emotionally resonant, transforming the film from mere spectacle into a compelling exploration of trust, identity, and survival. Through this intricate orchestration of craft and creativity, the film invites viewers into a world that is as visually striking as it is thematically rich, a testament to cinema's unique power to blend artistry and technology in the service of storytelling that moves and challenges us deeply. There's a profound intimacy that unfolds when the faces behind the characters step out from the shadows of the narrative and into the light of reflection. When actors share their thoughts, motivations, and vulnerabilities in interviews, and audiences respond with voices full of passion, critique, and connection. This film's cast forms a constellation of talent whose chemistry and dedication shape the story's emotional and thematic weight, while the dialogues that emerged through interviews and audience reviews reveal layers of meaning that extend far beyond the screen. At the heart of the film stands the lead actor, whose portrayal of the protagonist anchors the narrative with a compelling blend of intensity and subtlety. Relatively new to leading roles in action cinema, this actor embraced the physical demands of the part with rigorous training and a commitment to authenticity. In interviews, he often speaks about the challenge of balancing the character's outward toughness with his inner conflict, how the mercenary's strength is laced with vulnerability, and how that complexity made the role both demanding and deeply rewarding. He shares stories of early mornings filled with martial arts drills and the camaraderie forged with stunt coordinators, revealing an actor who approached his craft with both humility and passion. His reflections frequently touch on themes of trust and survival, mirroring the film's own explorations. He describes how embodying a character whose alliances shift and whose past ways heavily required not just physical preparation but emotional openness, a willingness to confront moral ambiguity and human frailty. This insight enriches viewers' appreciation of the film's layered storytelling, showing how performance becomes a conduit for thematic depth. Supporting him is the actress who brings to life the fiercely pragmatic and fiercely loyal second mercenary. Known for her nuanced portrayals of complex women, she describes in interviews her attraction to the character's blend of strength and guardedness. She discusses the challenge of portraying a woman navigating a male-dominated world of violence and betrayal, and how she sought to infuse the role with authenticity by researching martial arts and speaking with women who work in high-risk professions. Her anecdotes about on-set collaboration with the lead actor highlight a partnership marked by mutual respect and creative exchange, which translates into their palpable chemistry on screen. Her insights also reveal the emotional labor behind the role, the moments of quiet strength, the internal battles that often go unseen in action films. She emphasizes how the film's willingness to explore these dimensions sets it apart, and how audience responses, particularly from women, have been profoundly validating. The third mercenary, portrayed by an actor known for his versatility and charisma, brings a complex blend of charm, menace, and ambiguity to the screen. In interviews, he reflects on the character's shifting loyalties and moral complexity, describing the role as an opportunity to challenge typecasting and explore the fluidity of identity. He shares how his own background in theater and improvisation informed his approach, allowing him to inhabit a character who is both unpredictable and deeply human. His stories from the set, of intense fight rehearsals and moments of spontaneous humor, reveal an actor deeply engaged with both the physicality and psychology of his role. The antagonist, played by a seasoned actor with a reputation for layered villains, offers a portrayal that elevates the film's thematic stakes. In interviews, he discusses the importance of portraying antagonists as fully realized individuals rather than caricatures, and how understanding the character's motivations, a mix of personal loss, ambition, and ideological conviction, was key to crafting a performance that resonates. He reflects on the dynamic between his character and the protagonists, framing their conflict as not just physical but philosophical, which added depth to their confrontations. Beyond the leads, the supporting cast adds texture and authenticity, with many actors sharing their own connections to the film's themes in interviews. Their contributions, often underappreciated in action genres, are vital to the film's emotional and narrative complexity. Ensemble rehearsals fostered a sense of family among the cast, translating into performances rich with nuance and cohesion. Audience reviews paint a vivid picture of the film's impact across diverse demographics. Many viewers express appreciation for the film's balance of thrilling action and thoughtful character development, praising the cast's chemistry and the depth of their portrayals. Comments frequently highlight the film's exploration of trust and moral ambiguity as refreshing departures from genre conventions. Fan discussions online reveal active engagement with character arcs and thematic questions, fostering communities that debate motivations and interpretations, deepening the film's cultural resonance. Critics acknowledge the cast's performances as central to the film's success, noting how their portrayals bring humanity to high-octane storytelling. Reviews often emphasize the actors' ability to convey vulnerability amidst violence, enhancing emotional investment. Some critiques point to the film's nuanced female characters as a standout, applauding the performances that avoid stereotypes. Interviews with the director and creative team provide additional context, revealing how casting decisions were informed by a desire for authenticity and emotional complexity. Stories from the audition process illustrate the search for actors who could embody both physical prowess and psychological depth. The collaborative atmosphere on set, described in behind-the-scenes features, underscores how creative partnerships shaped performances and deepened narrative impact. Public appearances, panel discussions, and fan events featuring the cast fostered ongoing dialogue, strengthening the film's connection to its audience. Actors shared anecdotes and insights, while fans expressed appreciation for the film's layered storytelling and representation. These exchanges highlighted the communal aspect of cinema, where creation and reception are entwined in shared meaning. The film's reception has also sparked scholarly interest, with analyses focusing on character construction, gender dynamics, and thematic complexity. This critical discourse enriches understanding and situates the film within broader conversations about genre evolution and cultural narratives. Ultimately, the interplay of cast performances, candid interviews, and vibrant audience engagement forms a dynamic ecosystem that sustains the film's vitality. It transforms the cinematic work from a fixed artifact into a living conversation, one that invites us to explore not only the story told, but the human experiences that brought it to life, and the diverse meanings it evokes in each viewer. Through this lens, the film transcends entertainment, becoming a shared journey of discovery, empathy, and reflection. There's a certain stillness that washes over us as we reach the end of a journey, not just any journey, but one that has taken us through thrilling conflicts, intimate moments of trust and betrayal, and the tangled interplay of power, identity, and survival. Looking back on all we've explored in this film, it's clear that what might first appear as a high-octane action spectacle is, in truth, a deeply textured story, one that invites us to think, feel, and reflect long after the credits roll. We began by immersing ourselves in the kinetic energy of the plot, tracing the mercenaries' perilous mission from its explosive opening moments through the labyrinth of shifting alliances and moral ambiguity. The story's tension is not just in the external threats, but in the internal conflicts that drive the characters, how loyalty is earned and tested, how trust is fragile yet vital, and how survival demands not just strength but sacrifice. These plot developments were a canvas for exploring larger questions about human connection in fractured worlds, about how identity is shaped by past and present, and how power can both protect and corrupt. Our deep dive into character analysis revealed the richness of performances that bring this story to life. The protagonists, with their complexities and contradictions, remind us that heroism is rarely simple. It is a negotiation between past wounds and present choices. The antagonist's layered portrayal challenged us to reconsider notions of villainy, inviting empathy without absolution. The relationships among characters provided emotional depth, showing how trust and betrayal intertwine in the dance of survival. Through interviews and audience reflections, we saw how these portrayals resonated, fostering connections that extend beyond the screen. We uncovered fascinating behind-the-scenes insights that humanize the production, moments of laughter, unexpected challenges, and collaborative triumphs that remind us filmmaking is a deeply collective endeavor. The dedication of cast and crew, their adaptability and passion, infused the film with authenticity and vitality. Stories of improvisation, technical innovation, and community brought texture to the polished final product. Our exploration of themes and symbolism illuminated the film's soul. Trust, identity, power, and survival emerged not as abstract ideas, but as lived experiences embedded in characters' choices and visual motifs. Symbols like masks, light and shadow, and elemental imagery enriched the narrative, transforming it into a meditation on the fragility and resilience of human bonds. The film's cinematic techniques, the dynamic cinematography, evocative lighting, carefully crafted sound design, and precise editing, created an atmosphere that is both immersive and evocative. These choices shaped how we experienced the story, heightening tension, guiding emotional response, and reinforcing thematic complexity. The film's box office success underscored its ability to connect deeply with audiences, blending entertainment with thoughtful engagement. Finally, the interplay between cast performances, direct insights from interviews, and audience reactions demonstrated the film's vibrant cultural life. It is not merely a story told, but a conversation sparked, a shared space for reflection on trust, survival, and the human condition. As we close this chapter of analysis, I invite you to carry forward the insights and emotions stirred by this film. Let its exploration of complexity inspire your own reflections on the stories we inherit and the ones we choose to tell. May its themes remind us that beneath every conflict lies the enduring search for connection and meaning. If you found this deep dive enriching, I warmly encourage you to subscribe and join our community of thoughtful film lovers. Here we journey beyond surface thrills to uncover the layers of narrative, artistry, and humanity that make cinema a mirror and a window. Together, we will continue to explore films that challenge, inspire, and move us, uncovering the stories that shape our understanding of the world and ourselves. Thank you for sharing this voyage into a film that is as much an adventure as a meditation, a testament to the power of storytelling to illuminate, challenge, and connect. Until our next exploration, keep watching closely, thinking deeply, and feeling freely, because every film invites us not just to see but to understand.